This is the basics of working with oil-based stain and polyurethane. This is a voiceover because I'm wearing a breather. Trust me, you do not want to breathe in the fumes from this stuff. It's not like water-based products. Also, you will note that I'm standing in a well-ventilated room. This happens to be inside my house, so keeping the fumes down is important. I'm temporarily using the neighboring bath as a prep room. It doesn't have any windows, but rather conveniently does have a vent fan, which is running. I'm using Minwax oil-based polyurethane, but any oil-based stain or poly would work like this. Water-based equivalent products are available. They aren't quite as durable, but cleanup is easier. Oil-based has a slight yellow tint to it and can't be cleaned with water, but is more durable. And that was when I realized that my polyurethane had dried out. One trip to the hardware store later, and let's try that again. Note that I'm not using the can the stain comes in directly. If you try that, over time, dried residue will collect around the opening, making it harder to seal the lid. And dipping the brush in the can will pollute the clean product with debris. That debris will wind up on your work surface. Instead, this is a disposable Chinese food container with a grocery bag inserted as a liner. You'll see why in a moment. So this isn't sandpaper. It's a piece of a paper bag from the grocery store. Before I applied my first coat of stain, I sanded down the surface with a progression of 60, 120, and 220 grit paper. Once the first coat of stain goes on, though, you need something a lot finer. Believe it or not, the paper bag does the trick. It's just coarse enough to knock down the small raised edges without scratching the finish. One light swipe is all it takes. For oil-based, use a natural fiber brush, not the typical synthetic brushes water-based products use. Mine is 2.5 inch, which I found to be a very versatile size. Spending the extra $1 will get you a decent brush, and it's not going to leave bits of itself everywhere. Soft bristles mean the product goes on a lot more uniformly. As long as you can clean it properly after each coat, one brush will last you quite a while. Make sure the bristles are soft and flexible, though. A stiff brush is a useless brush. Wipe off the excess and proceed in nice, even strokes. For polyurethane, you don't need to worry about streaks. They'll settle out as it dries. I go over the area twice, once to apply, and a second time with an unloaded brush to even it out. You don't need to apply much force, just lightly brush it on. While I'm waiting for the first coat to dry, I'm sealing what's left of my polyurethane. The key is to do so in a way that's reasonably airtight. Twisting the top of the bag is a good start, then snap the lid on the container for a quick and easy seal that's good enough for a few hours. Cleanup is 3 more containers. Water won't work with oil-based products, but paint thinner will. Fill each container with enough paint thinner to cover the bristles. For each coat, I'm going to use them in the same sequence. The first container will become the dirtiest, and the third will remain the cleanest. For each, insert the brush and bend it to the side for about 5 to 7 seconds. Then flip it over and repeat. Wipe it on the edge to release as much liquid as possible. Then repeat with the other 2 containers. The difference between the 3 containers is more obvious if you do this with stain. But with the clear or nearly clear polyurethane, the difference is less visible. Nonetheless, keep the containers in order. Once done with all 3, seal the containers with lids. You should now have a brush mostly free of polyurethane or stain. Now, you just have to wash off the paint thinner. This, water can do. Coat the brush in liquid dish soap and work it in. Then rinse under the faucet, being sure to get both sides and the interior. If you look carefully, you'll notice that the dish soap isn't lathering like it normally would. Keep repeating the sequence of soap and rinsing until the detergent lathers on the brush. That's an indication that it's no longer interacting with the paint thinner. Then give the brush one more quick rinse and set it aside to dry. It took me about 3 cycles, or about 5 minutes. A word about disposal. Do not pour oil-based products down the drain. I collect the used liquid in a large coffee tub with a sealable lid. Once full, label it, tape the lid securely closed, and take it to hazardous waste disposal. Also, if you use rags, be very careful where you keep them. Some oil-based products can cause them to combust. A pile of oily rags in the corner is a good way to burn your house down. So that's pretty much it. If this video was helpful to you, a like or comment is always appreciated.